like this is my daughter, because it's all the good girl syndrome, right? So they'd offer me a biscuit, it's the last biscuit, and my heart as a mum would be go, no, sweetheart, you have it. But what I'm modelling to her is that I never put my own needs first. So sometimes she'd offer me a biscuit, last one I'd go, oh, thanks, and I'd take it and eat it, because I'm taking care of myself.
It feels that to any generation there comes a point where you have to break the cycle, right? And just how you might have been raised or how your parents were raised, at some point you have to think, well, just because it was done before doesn't mean that's the best way to
I think everyone, I remember Derren Brown did he does those things where he pretends there's a zombie apocalypse and everyone, he did one where, can you get someone who says they're racist to save the life of someone who's a different colour to them? It's like in Mexico. And the guy who was, he was interviewing him, who held racist views, and the guy said, I'm not racist, that's just the way I've been brought up. And I was like, God, that's worse. Because you're saying, I've not thought about it at all. I just believed the adults that were in my house. And now that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to update the story. I'm not going to get curious about it. I'm just going to carry on with that. And I'm like, wow, parents tell you a lot of crap when we update stories about, certain things that happen at Christmas. We update stories about what happens to our teeth when they go under the pillow. We really need to, our one job, right, as humans, is to keep our story updated. So rather than saying, oh, I'm crap at this, up until now, I've struggled with this. From now on, I am going to be more intentional. I am going to try harder. I am going to get help. It's about realising the power you have to not let your past become a script for your future.
And it's not only for your future, right? It's potentially your kids' future. Because
big time.
This is where there's only the work you've done with schools. There's only so much teachers can do in terms of preparing children for the real world, in terms of resilience, because the resource, the time, all the other issues they have. I'm really interested, Jaz, in as a new parent myself, what can I be doing to foster an environment of, you've talked before about embedding ambitious resilience. Tell me a little bit more about that and what kind of that culture or that mindset could mean for an individual and their family.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing as a new parent is, back to the 2.5 rules. You have got to be kind to yourself, because this is a relentless job, right? And I can tell you now, it's too late for you, but I'm telling you now, my first daughter got to 18. There's no prize. I'm like, where's is there a reward? Oh, you get the reward of seeing your child blossom into an adult. So nothing monetary, no trophy. It's hard. It's hard. Hard things are hard. But I think one of the things that I know for Ed and I that we decided on, I was very afraid all the time. And when I had kids, I'm like, what if I die? What if So we were always what does 50-50 look like when we both have jobs and yours brings in most of the money? What does that look like? What does the family need and how do we attribute it? And in some ways we fell into quite traditional roles, but in other ways we were always trying to model what a good one looks like for our kids. We call it waggles in education, what a good one looks like. So I'm trying to be a living waggle. So there's ideas of what I do with my kids when they were little. They'd offer you a biscuit. Like, this is my daughter, because it's all the good girl syndrome, right? So they'd offer me a biscuit, it's the last biscuit, and my heart as a mum would be go, no, sweetheart, you have it. But what I'm modelling to her is that I never put my own needs first. So sometimes she'd offer me a biscuit, last one I'd go, oh, thanks, and I'd take it and eat it, because I'm taking care of myself. And when COVID was on, I had a sign on the door and it said, yes, you can have a Jaffa cake, because that's all they ever asked me. But there was this thing around, you have to make some decisions yourself, because we're all together and I can't be there 24/7. I want to be there 24/7, but how resilient are my kids going to be if I'm picking up after them, running around after them, when they say they need 36 cakes at 8 in the morning and a banana costume for the school day, and I suddenly prepare? No, it's got to be well, that would have been something good to plan. So next time we need to, we go out, my kids want a magazine. I can afford to buy them a magazine, but sometimes I say no, because it is good to know that you can't always get what you want without thinking about it. So I don't want my kids to have the same hardships I have. I don't want them living on the streets. I don't want them navigating ridiculous adults who are trying to hurt them. I don't want that. But I do want them to have the pivotability and the resilience that I have, that ambitious resilience. I want them to have that. So what can I do to engineer that? And one of them, if you're lucky enough to do it, is travel. What travel? I take my kids into town and I'm like, right, there's the bus stop, find your way back. Because I want them to be able to do it. Yes, I could bring them back in the car, but I need them. I'm making myself sound out to be a real terrible sounding out. I abandon my kids. I eat their last biscuits. But there's something around, I want to show them what it looks like to be a good human and a great citizen. And the other thing I do is I have healing time. So after in my hour, if it gets to 6 o'clock and I'm still wearing a bra, something's gone wrong. I want to be in my pajamas at 6. So by 8 o'clock, I like to be in bed, reading, Netflix, whatever, just winding down. The kids will come and talk to me and I'll say, sweetheart, is it urgent? I mean, first of all, you have another parent. He lives in this house too. So is he available? But second of all, is it urgent? Because right now, mummy's healing. I'm doing something really important. I'm recharging. So if you're bleeding or you need me to take you to the hospital, I'm there. But if it isn't, this is really important right now. So I've modelled to my kids how to take time for yourself, not to be a people pleaser, because I'm a total reformed people pleaser. Well, I'm not that reformed, but my tendency is to people please. So I've tried to model what that looks like. And the best thing you can do for your new mini human is look at the things in yourself that you think, you know what do I want to pass on and invest in? And make sure they're the best that you can give, and that the negative stuff isn't watering it down. That's the most important thing. My youngest drew a picture of me, little traitor, in school. Drew a picture of your family. Ed's playing football with Jake. Trin is baking with Leo, and I'm on my laptop. He showed the teacher this picture. And I mean, I'm getting cross, but he drew what he saw. And Trinity said, when you're on your laptop, sometimes we're talking, you say yes, but you don't mean yes, I'm listening. You just mean yes, you're talking. Sometimes Leo comes to show you a Pokemon and you don't even take your eyes off yeah, okay, Garamond, isn't that fun? Yeah, I just ignore him totally. And all you're doing is saying to people, I do not prioritise myself or you. Everything is about emails. So it's hard and you have to be intentional, but there are tools. And I think the biggest change you can make for your child is you. 2.5 rules. That's what I've followed all along. Makes a big difference.